Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on the Python programming language and machine learning. So in this video I will attempt to predict the price of Apple stock using Facebook's profit procedure. And all of the code that I'm going to be writing in this video and the data set that will be used in this video will be put on patreon.com/computer science, and I will leave a link for that in the description below if you are interested. Now, before we begin, if you like the videos on this channel, then be sure to click that subscribe and like button. And to be notified about new videos from this channel, hit that bell notification. And the material in this video is purely educational and should not be taken as professional investment advice. So invest at your own discretion, as I am not a financial advisor. Okay, so with all that being said, I'm currently on Google's website called colab.research.google.com, and this is where I will be writing the code. So all you have to do is log into this website with your Google account and get started writing your code. So if you're going to code along with me, go ahead and click on File, then click on New Notebook, where a new tab will open up for you, and then eventually a new cell. And in this cell, I'm going to put in a description and comments. So I'm just going to put predict the future price of a stock using machine learning, Facebook's profit, and Python. Okay, so next I'm going to create a new cell by clicking that code button in the top left. And in this cell, I'm going to import the pandas library. Okay, so I'm just going to type import pandas as PD, and then I'm going to run the cell by clicking this button here to the left. And this will let me know if I made any mistakes. Okay, so it looks like I'm good to go. Next, I want to load the data. So I'm going to create a new cell, and I'm going to load the data set that contains data or historical price data on Apple stock. So to do that, I'm going to use Google's library. So from google.colab, I'm going to import files, and I'm just going to type files.upload to upload the file. So let's go ahead and run this cell, click on choose files, and then I'm going to load this aapl.csv file. Okay, and it looks like it's done loading. So I'm going to create another cell, and now in this cell I'm going to read in the data. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to first create a variable called df and set it equal to pd.read underscore csv, and then I'm going to input the name of that CSV file I just uploaded, which is aapl.csv, and then I want to show the data. So I'm just going to type show the data, and I'm just going to type df here, and let's run this. Okay, and now we can see that this data set contains 2,790 rows of data and 7 columns. Okay, and those 7 columns are date, open, and that's short for the open price, high, which is short for the high price, low, which is short for the low price, close, which is short for the close price, ADJ close, which is short for adjusted close price, and then the volume. Okay, all right, so let's talk a little bit about Facebook's profit. So Facebook's profit is a procedure for forecasting time series data, and it is used in many applications across Facebook for producing reliable forecasts for planning and goal setting. And you can see a similar description on Facebook's profit documentation website. All right, so I just want to talk a little bit about it and kind of explain exactly what it is. So it's kind of neat that Facebook allows for developers like you and I and other programmers and just people in general to use something that they've used themselves for their products. All right, or within the company. So let's go ahead and create a new cell, and now let's basically select the date and the price, and what we're going to do is rename them to be names that are required for the model. So let me go ahead and put that in comments here. We're going to select the date and the price. All right, so I'm going to basically restructure our data set. So I'm going to set df equal to df date, and I'm going to use the close price for the price. Okay, So next I'm going to rename the features, and this is again so that the names can be specific to what the model requires. All right, so I'm going to set df equal to df dot rename, and I'm going to set the columns equal to, let's see, we're going to change date to be ds, and then I'm going to change the close column to be y. Okay, and then I'm going to show the data. So I'm just going to type df here, and let's run this. And now we can see our new data set. And again, ds used to be the date column, and our column y used to be the close column from our original data set. And we only chose those two columns from the original data set, so that's why we're only seeing the columns ds and y here. Okay. All right, and we still have 2,790 rows of data, and again we just have those two columns. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new cell. And now in this cell, what I plan on doing is getting the last 20 rows of data and storing them in a variable. So let's go ahead and type that in some comments here. So get the last, what I say, 20 rows. So I'm gonna get the last 20 rows of data and store them into a new variable. So I'm gonna create a variable called last and set it equal to df, and I want to get all the data from the length of the data set minus 20 onward. So put a little colon there, and then I want to show the data, so I'm going to type last here. So let's run this. So now we can see that we're getting all the data from this indice 2770 onward. Or let's see, 2770, yes, okay, onward. So if you do the math here, you could just do 2789 minus 2770, and you would get 19, but then you'd have to add 1, right? So we have 20 rows here, and I'm not going to count them all. You just got to trust me, but you can definitely see for yourself if you're following along. All right, so that's good. And you may be asking, well, why are we getting these last 20 rows of data? Well, I'm going to get these last 20 rows of data because I want to use this, or these last 20 rows of data, to kind of get an idea of how well the model is at predicting the future price of this stock. And so this data set will contain data that the model has never seen before, and we can test how the model or what the model thinks the future price, in this case the prices that we have here, what they think these prices will be given a certain date. All right, so let's create a new cell, and now I'm going to get all of the rows in the data set except for the last 20 rows of data. All right, and this is so that I can train the model on this data set without those last 20 rows, so that we can make those future predictions and test against those 20 rows of data that we have stored in last. All right, so I'm going to set df equal to df, and I want everything up to the last 20 rows of data. And I want to show this data set, so let's go ahead and run this. All right, and now we can see that this data set contains 2,770 rows of data, and of course our two columns. And you can see that the indices stop at 2,769, and in last you can see that the indices start at 2,770. All right, so now we have our two data sets, and we're going to train the model on this df data set. Okay, so let's create a new cell, and now it's time for the meat of the program. All right, so I'm going to import Facebook's profit library. So from FB profit, I'm going to import profit, All right. Next, I want to create the profit class. So I'm going to create a variable called FBP, and I'm going to set it equal to profit, and then I'm going to give the daily seasonality a value equal to true. Okay. So again, I'm just let me put some comments here actually. So I'm getting the Facebook profit library here, and then I am creating the profit class, or it's really the object, the profit object. All right. So I think I said class earlier, but it's really the object. So this is the model, and then I'm going to train the model. So I'm going to they also call it fit. I'm going to fit or train the model. Okay, so fit is just another word for train. So to do that, just type FBP dot fit and then input the data set, which is DF, which contains the 2,770 rows of data. All right, and then I want to predict 365 days into the future. So I'm going to create a variable called future, and I'm going to set it equal to FBP dot make underscore future underscore data frame, and then I'm going to set periods equal to 365 because there's 365 days in a year. All right, so next I'm going to create a variable called forecast, and I'm going to set it equal to FBP dot predict, and I'm going to input future, and let's run this. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be good to go. Just give it a little time here. All right, so we are. Let's go ahead and create a new cell. And now in this cell, I'm going to import the Facebook's profit plotting library, or library, we'll go to libraries. Okay, so from FB profit dot plot, I'm going to import plot underscore plotly and plot underscore components underscore plotly. All right, so next I'm just going to plot the data. So just type plot or plot underscore plotly. And you know what, actually I don't think I really will use this plot underscore components underscore plotly. Let's just get rid of that for now. All right, so just type plot underscore plotly and then put in FBP and forecast, and let's run this. All right, and so here we go. We have this nice looking chart, and what are we looking at here? Well, we're looking at the stock data, right, of the close price, and that's in black. So those are the data points from our original data set, and then the blue line here, the blue line is the forecasted prices. All right, so for example, where I have my mouse right now, it has predicted December 2021. It's going to predict that the price of Apple stock will be $163 and about 32 cents. I'm rounding that those last four decimal places. I'm rounding them to two decimal places. And this is basically how it's going to go, or this is basically how it works. So we can see that in this nice graph and this chart here, and I think that's pretty neat. Okay, so let's actually put in some values and see how well the model did with predicting the, and I'm going to put this in quotes, future price of Apple. So let's create a new cell, and the reason why I put that in quotes is basically because, again, this data is in the past, so it's not really the future, but it's data that the model has never seen. So let's see if the model got it right. Let's see if the model can predict the quote unquote future price of Apple stock. All right, so let's show the model's prediction for, we're going to go with October 15th, 2021. And to do that, just type forecast, and then I want where forecast.ds equals 2021-10-15. And then I want y hat, the y hat column. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. And the model predicts that on October 15th, 2021, that Apple's stock price will be $158 and about 19 cents. Okay. Now, of course, we actually know what that value is. So let's go ahead and create a new cell and let's show the actual value of the stock for 10/15 2021. Okay, so to do that will be very, very similar to what we did above, except for we're going to use the last data set that we created. So just type last, and then we want to get last.ds, where last.ds equals 2021-10-15. So I'm just going to come up here, highlight this, copy using Control C, and then come here and paste it using Control V. And then we want the Y column from that data set, from the last data set. And I say the last data set, I mean the data set that we called last. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. And we can see that the actual price on October 15th, 2021 was about $144.84. Again, I'm rounding. All right, so that's not bad. It's about $14 or so off, right? Or maybe $13 and something cents. So not bad, but of course it's not perfect. Well, that's the end of the video. I hope you found it educational and I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to start an investment portfolio of your own, then you can click on the link below in the description and get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,850 on Webull when you deposit $100 or more. And don't forget to grab $10 worth of Bitcoin using the BlockFi link below when you deposit $100 or more. Thanks for watching, and thank you to the supporters supporting this channel on patreon.com. I truly, truly appreciate it. Again, I will leave a link to the Patreon page, patreon.com/computerscience, where you can find the code and data set for or from this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.